mind was that I felt it was a really exclusive organization to work in. It was very sought after. And what basically I learned in that job was to work as a team, because we were approximately 15 consultants working together, from junior to managers, and it was one of my most wonderful periods in my career that I can think of. Considering that it was my first job in India, I worked for 8 years overseas, so consultancy was an excellent way of learning about Indian businesses and industry. Some of the projects that we did were varied in the service sector, the government social sector, as well as the manufacturing sector. So for somebody like me who'd never been exposed to working in India, it was a great opportunity to learn about how Indian operations function with the various rules, regulations of this domain. Fortunately, I was more associated with management accounting, so putting in accounting systems and so on, and learning about the rules that went with part of the accounting functions. So that to me was a wonderful opportunity while working with Ferguson. But more so, I think it was the people. It was a wonderful group of people, and till today we meet regularly. So it just was to show that it's one career of 2 years which has made me friends for life, which I can't say about some of the other jobs that I've had. One incident that does come to mind is my manager, who I held in very high esteem, fell sick, and he had to go and visit a client, and he asked me to take over and go and visit the client, and we used to do what is called a preliminary survey, which is when you visit a client and then you prepare a proposal for them. And so I got an opportunity to prepare this proposal and submit it to the client, and that resulted in a contract. And thereafter, with this manager, I ended up being removed from the normal consultancy and actually looking after the business development part of Ferguson. So I did a lot of these proposals, some which came through, which was extremely satisfying, and others gave you an opportunity to understand different business requirements. So that to me was an opportunity which came to me as an accident and which I excelled in. Nostalgic moments were lunches in Ferguson, where of course you guys now have wonderful organized catering facilities and so on, whereas we used to bring our own lunches, and that lunchtime was a great pastime where we all shared our lunches together, and I still remember eating this variety of food which everybody would bring, and we would end up gobbling down other people's food. So that was something that will always stay with me. Well, I'm now at the receiving end because I run industry, and I've from time to time required assistance from a consulting standpoint. From our time, I do recall that some of the projects that we did were extremely complex in the sense of setting up systems where you had to go in depth and understand what the client's needs were and try and fulfill them in the most economical and efficient manner possible. One of the key features then was in terms of actually getting into very in-depth preparatory work, so that the client ended up getting something that could be implemented extremely fast and efficiently. Today's consultants rely on so many different additional, I would say, tools. Remember, we had no electronics, we had no computers, or computers were few and far between. Most of our reports were cyclostyled and had to be printed from somebody actually making us, typing out and then preparing reports manually. Whereas today you've got the net, you've got research which is available to you, whereas we had to do research by actually going to various places. So if you had to do a market survey, you had to end up assimilating your research data manually. There was no net you could go to and simply Google half the stuff that you can today. So it was a completely different way of working. And that is, I would say, the biggest difference in today's consultants versus yesterday's consultants. The sooner you can master accessibility through electronic media, the better off you are, because I think that's the way everything is going. Your ability to glean information without having to spend the numerous hours that we did. What you can do today in a short space of time, if you know how to navigate information searches, that helps you a lot. But of course, your inherent knowledge, your background, depending on what you're working on, that also has to have a big role to play. But by and large, the more savvy you are, computer savvy, net savvy, I think the better off you are.